Anytime, pretty boy.
We're here at the Ontario Collectorcon, and I'm with Mr. Cal Dodd, the voice of Wolverine. Now, if somebody says you're just the voice of Wolverine, are you just the voice, or are you the actor? You are Wolverine.
You're definitely Wolverine. I mean, the voice is to get the voice is one thing, but the acting and becoming, I totally became Wolverine for the role. A very heavy role because he was a weird dude. As I was saying to Phil, he very rarely laughed or smiled, and there were a couple of episodes where he did, and I relished those episodes because it was kind of, I didn't know what to do. I'd never had him have to laugh before, so it's just like, oh, we're in trouble. He could do everything else, growl and and all that stuff, and scream and fight, but he's never actually laughed. And he was in the episode where he goes up north and he works with the Indian tribe. And he actually laughed because they were throwing him up in a blanket. But it's funny, but yeah, I definitely became that person, Wolverine. And it's in your heart, and he became a big part of me. 5 years doing him, and I still miss not doing him.
I heard you talking to some of the fans today.
Yeah.
But finding that voice for Wolverine. How did that come about? How did you land that role?
I had no agent. I was telling the individual you're talking about. I had no agent at that point. I didn't do voice work. I was singing. I did singing for years in shingles and in studios and stuff like that, and TV shows and whatever. And I'd never done voiceover work. And she called me because I had done a Chrysler commercial where it was a gruff voice that I used. And she remembered me for a year and a half after doing that and phoned me and said, would I be interested in going to audition for a role in a cartoon animated series for the role of Wolverine? I said, who's that? I had no idea who Wolverine was, or an X-Men or anything. I said, fine, sure, I'll go to it. And I went to it, and they said, okay, think Clint Eastwood, Steve McQueen, anyway, and what other names? Ward Bond. I found all these names. That one very unusual, but anyway, so I just took that into my brain and added a little Wolfman Jack, and came up with the line was like, "You like picking on people smaller than you? Well, I'm smaller than you. Pick on me, pal." And like Wolfman Jack's like, "Yeah, baby." So there's a bit of that in his voice, and that's how that happened. And they just all threw up their arms and went, "Unbelievable! We have our Wolverine." And I still didn't know who he was, what he did. I mean, I'd seen it. They showed me a picture of him, but he became a huge part of my life, I'll tell you, for the next 5 years. And 25 years later, still a big part. He was an indelible mark on my soul. Anyway, this Logan character. So, in my heart and in my mind. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now I wanted to ask you, because you can always believe everything you read on the internet. But somewhere on the internet, I had read that Hugh Jackman had asked you about portraying Wolverine. Is that a true story?
No. At a party function before the very first movie, we were all there. I forget what the function was even for. He's in town to film his first. He'd never even done the role yet, and he came up to me, and we were introduced, Cal Dodd, and he had been listening to tapes of the X-Men, specifically Wolverine, of course, because he's about to play him for the first time ever in a movie. And he said, and the first he said to me, as we're shaking hands, like, "I'm sick and tired of listening to your voice, mate." It's exactly what he said. "I'm sick and tired of listening to your voice, mate." But kidding, of course. And I said, "Well, thank you very much." And he said, "Not a problem." But he said, "Really, I love it to death." And I said, "But I've been listening to it for months now." He said, "I'm just a little tired of you. So I sliced him to pieces, and he went off and did that little movie thing. So, but the other thing you said, no, it's not true. He didn't ask me that at all.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's cool that there is there's at least a sliver of truth behind whatever else I read.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's exactly what I read and I just remember.
No.
You never can tell with these things. You've also got a music career. You've got a CD. Is it the music? Is it Wolverine? What's your favorite part of your career, or is it all sort of
Music.
it all comes together?
Music. Without question. It's what I did my entire life. My parents were both musically gifted. And we sang as a family growing up. Music was everything to me. And the TV show Circus I had was all music for 5 years on CTV, syndicated worldwide. I was a jingle singer in Canada for 25 years. Still do it, an occasional one now and then, but back then, flying different places, different countries, singing, commercials, Pepsi, Coke, beers, whatever. So, and I love Wolverine to death. It's the best voiceover work I've ever done is obviously X-Men and this series. But to compare the two is totally different. They're like apples and oranges. But I love them both. Don't get me wrong. But music is my life. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned that your family were all singers, musically inclined, I guess.
Yeah, my little brother, for example, Rory, my little brother, he'll love that. Rory, we both went to New York. He went to New York in 75, 5 or 6, with a rock opera. And he met Meatloaf. And he met Beverly D'Angelo. Beverly went with him from the show here. Anyway, he ended up, Rory, joining Meatloaf, and the Meatloaf records, Bad Out of Hell, all that stuff. This is my little brother. And he then he did the hit record, which that's all he gets asked. I'm known for Wolverine. Rory's known for Turn Around, every now and then I get a Total Eclipse of the Heart with Bonnie Tyler. Turn around, bright eyes. That thing, that's my little brother Rory. So he's huge. I mean, that's a huge record. And that's, so we're singers.
It's great.
Yeah.
So at what point did you say, I want music to be my life and continue in that direction? Or was it never really a question, it just kind of happened?
It was a question because I was going to be first of all, I wanted to be a Phys Ed teacher. Because I loved Phys Ed and was good at it. And
then as a Phys Ed teacher.
Yeah. Oh, gymnast. I was a gymnast and wrestling, karate, that kind of stuff. But specifically teach Phys Ed. And go to, I love kids and love working out and doing stuff like that. But my father said, no, you're not going to university. First of all, we couldn't afford it. He said, you're not going to university. You're going to be a chartered accountant. Oh, am I? So I said, yes. So I went in right after grade 13 into a CA course, working in the office from 9 to 5, through Queen's University, writing my exams. Okay, and quit after 3 years. My father died. And I said, that's enough of this. And I went right from there to Toronto with a guitar player. And that was the beginning of it. And I said, that's it, just quit. Just quit everything. I said, this is going to do its work for me. And it happened. Lucky for me, and it happened. And Toronto's never been the same. And I loved every minute of it. And they pay me for doing something I love.
It's fantastic. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Which
is why I'm here.
Yeah, I guess this is your first...
very first.
Very first convention.
Yeah. Colin couldn't believe it. He just, he said, you picked a good one to do this. Get your feet wet. He said, it's not too crazy or maniacal. He said, this is a perfect one for you to start on. And he's right. It's been a treat.
I'm glad. How's your stay been? Have you enjoyed talking to the fans?
I love it. It's just fantastic. And I get to travel with the wife.
There you go.
Yeah, and again, get paid for it.
Stay in swanky hotels.
For something I did 25 years ago. Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's amazing the longevity of some of these things.
Oh no, I can't believe it. This is this is a resurgence because it's the 25th anniversary. And could you just grab that book for me?
Yeah.
This is the 25th anniversary of the series. So this book, because in the series, and which is the only animated series cartoon show to ever do this, that you would normally hear on a series, a real life series, previously on As the World Turns. Well, they did that for X-Men, which is the first time ever previously on X-Men, and they would tell you what happened the week before. Anyway, Eric Lewald and his wife Julia, but Eric wrote this book, and they are responsible for the series and the X-Men period. And he wrote this book, and it's unbelievable read. It's anything you want to know about it, any questions you're asking me would be answered in this book and 7,000 more.
Nice.
But it's a great book.
So I think they've got a website where you can order that.
Yeah,
and Amazon for
Amazon. It's only available to Canadians. It's on Amazon. Yes.
Okay.
It's only available through Amazon. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, I wanted to order it before today,
Yeah.
so I could read it before I met you, and then, life, it never happened. I never got it ordered, and even if I had ordered it, would I have got it read before this week? Probably not, but
Yeah.
I am going to order one.
Good for you.
I think it looks like a fantastic book.
Oh, it is. It is. It's phenomenal. Anything and everything you want to know is in that book. It is, Evan.
Now, people that want to know more about you personally, where can they? You've got a website, I imagine, your CD.
CalDodd.com.
CalDodd.com.
Yeah.
All right. And your CDs are available through there? Or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
We're done.
I think so. That seems like a perfect spot to
Oh,
stop.
it is. Yeah. I'm looking at all the people that want me to sign stuff with them.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
I'll
you.
get out of your hair. Thanks so much.